Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm casting some real love. From the Series Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California, this is your Thursday Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Witecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my personal mission is to stand in my heart and help other people stand in theirs. This webisode is for Thursday, March 3rd, 2016, and today the Great Human Walk has reached step 13, Pisces. Good day, my friend. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for logging in, and thank you for your soul support. I also want to thank everyone for their wonderful comments and shares that they've left on my home site at soulgarden.tv. And I want to remind you that I have a lot of extra videos and interviews out right now. You can see those on our YouTube channel, or you can see them by going into the Psychic Lounge on my website at soulgarden.tv. But before we move on to today's vibe, let's first do our daily Lightwalker shout out. This today is with a woman that I met at the Conscious Life Expo. Her name is Tori Hartman, and she's the creator of Chakra Wisdom cards. And you know, there's a lot of cards out there on the market, but it's always fascinating to know the story behind these. She had a near-death experience, and angels started coming to her. She put away the stories. She didn't even think they were valid. And then years later, she decided to develop them into cards. I have to say the cards are beautiful. They're very telling, and some of the imagery is very haunting. So check out the interview. We posted it yesterday, but it's also live today with Tori Hartman. And I'm so grateful that I got to talk to her and actually speak to a creator of one of these types of decks. I'm looking forward to using it. I'll let you know what I come up with. So moving on to today's vibe, partly cloudy and a bit of challenged, I think today. We have a possible breakthrough because step 13, Pisces, rules the day. Pisces is our spiritual consciousness. Step 13 is breakthrough. So we're looking to feel where we belong spiritually. We already spent 12 days clearing spiritual garbage off the bottom rungs of our Pisces energy. And today, if you crossed the bridge yesterday, you will have a breakthrough. Now, by breakdown, I mean it can be as subtle as your car breaks down and that's how you meet your husband, okay? Like breakthrough. Or it can be that you put off a lesson for a very long time and everything just kind of gives out at this point. So some people experience a very difficult breakdown at this 13 degree. Some people do a subtle breakthrough after having struggled for a while. So my heart today is trying to figure things out, trying to remember exactly what I believe, trying to remember where I truly spiritually belong. And it is a remembering because we're talking about Pisces, we're talking about spirit, and we're talking about spirit, we're talking about something we signed up for before we incarnated. So this is about remembering what we agreed to. I feel very serious today. The moon is in Capricorn. I might even feel trapped. I might even feel controlling. May even feel like controlling others. But really, it's a sense of wanting to feel in control. And I think wanting to feel in control is tied to being clear on that belief. So if you're clear, I think you'll feel more in control. I'm open to manifesting the new vibration. Venus is at step 19. Aquarius, and so I'm open now to making that new vibration, that new frequency, that new high goal for my soul. That's what I'm open to, is manifesting that today. I'm thinking about acting on this new vibration. I'm thinking about what I have to do to make it happen. I'm thinking about all the steps necessary to make it happen, and my mind is waiting for the right time. Now, I am getting tested on all my emotional boundaries. Mars is at the final step 29, and that means that we will be tested in our boundaries. Tested means it's kind of like a beta test. You laid out these rules, somebody will trip over it. You laid out these rules, you fail to enforce it. You lay out these rules, you get nervous at the last second. Those are all tests. Don't worry if you fail a boundary issue. You're not out of time, but you should take super big note that there is a problem in that part of your life. So note for that. And today, I am learning to decide and act on my new reality. Learning how to decide, how to commit, and how to act on my new reality, or what I call meality. That's because Jupiter has retrograded to step 18 Virgo. So we are now ready to decide and act. So today, your joy quest, should you choose to accept it, is to stick to what you believe. Let go of the things you do not believe. That comes from the step 13 philosophy. The 3 is I believe. And, what happens is that we manifest our life in concrete details, and sometimes we manifest ourselves into a corner. And when you get yourself into a corner where you've built all these different, walls up and all sorts of contraptions in your life, you literally can't see past it. So belief is a way of seeing past it. You have a belief that can walk you around it. Your belief says you can go over it. Your belief says you can go under it. And so sticking to our belief is what gets us out of a spiritual or physical reality jam. So stick to what you believe today and let go of what you do not believe. Now let's move on to today's topic. Today's topic is tips for accepting the truth, the right psychic posture. Now we're in Pisces, which means ultimately our consciousness is an open window. Pisces is the consciousness between Creator and Earth. There's like this meringue layer, this paradox vibration where we are and we are not at the same time. And this is kind of what ties us into Holy Spirit. Now, the part of us that's on Earth and light casting and with thoughts and memories and experiences, okay, sometimes does not communicate to the other side of us, our higher self. In fact, many souls don't communicate to their higher self whatsoever. As a result, they get out of sync with their higher self. Your higher self had sorts of intentions, and your ego and your mind took you off in other directions. And so the mind, body, and the spirit separate. Now, when we have major breakdown, like we may have today or at step 22 Pisces, it's often because the mind and the ego have wandered your life way off course to what your spirit signed up for. And so when the two finally connect, there's a breakdown. Or when the two finally connect, there's a breakdown in reality because it's not what the soul asked for. All right? So one of the conditions that happens from this separation of our spirit from all the time is that we begin to not be able to accept our spiritual truth. And because we don't listen to our spirit all the time, when we do hear the truth, our ego or our mind tends to want to deny it. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Not possible. No, I don't want that. And so the ego and mind will go running off, not wanting the spiritual truth. So let me pose to you today the 5 o'clock question so you can understand kind of what I'm getting at here. Have you ever missed a warning from spirit because you did not like what it said? Have you ever missed a warning from spirit because you didn't like what it said? And secondly, what did you do with that information? Okay, so I will answer the question. Have I ever missed a warning because I did not like what it said? Yes. In fact, actually, when I was saying the question, the pain kind of came up, actually, which is that my psychic side said my grandmother was dying, and I didn't get to her in time to say goodbye. And I'm ashamed because my psychic side was telling me for about 6 months that this was an issue, but I just didn't want to accept that truth. I kept thinking like, oh, it's not time yet, or I have time. I mean, my mind was saying a lot of things. Now, this was before I was calling myself a psychic astrologer. I used to keep it secret that I was psychic because I didn't have full faith in it at the time. So part of the issue was I didn't have faith in my abilities. But my guides told me over and over in dreams that she's heading out. And, I could have made it on the plane. I let my life get in front of me. So it's a pain in my heart that I will always have and try to get rid of. What do you do with the information when you get it? Well, this is what I want to bring up today about really how to accept the truth inside yourself when that information comes in and how to reply best to yourself, okay? Well, first of all, it's important to know that Pisces is compassion and non-judgment. Virgo is judgment. So Virgo is judgment, Pisces is compassion. And they sit on either side of each other because you need both to stay in balance. Sometimes you have to be critical to get yourself out of a mess with Virgo and just clean it up specifically, detail by detail. But sometimes you can get way overcritical, and you have to let go of all that and go back to the non-judgment of Pisces. So it's a yin-yang back and forth. To be psychic in the Pisces world, you must have no judgment in the Virgo. You can't listen to Pisces if you're judging in Virgo. This is why non-judgment is absolutely necessary for spiritual communion. Now, I say non-judgment because the truth is, when my guides told me that my grandma was dying, I judged it. I judged the information. I went into the Virgo side of myself. I was critical. I got all caught up in the details. Well, maybe not the medicine, or maybe I can make it there. I got caught up in all the Virgo. I didn't just listen to the information was, you better get there if you want to say goodbye to her, period. That's what Spirit said. So judgment, people get caught up in the argument of judgment in the sense of rights and wrongs. It's not rights and wrongs. It's about posture. It's about spiritual posturing yourself so that you can listen. Non-judgment is necessary to hear Spirit. Non-judgment is necessary to get the truth. Non-criticism is necessary to connect to God. Okay? Then you can judge it later. Now, another thing I want to point out about listening and being attentive to accepting the truth is that when Creator and Spirit speaks to you, I want you to know that they use your imagination, your imagery to speak to you. So a lot of Western science says it's all hosh-posh what we do as psychics because everything that we come up with are tied to things in our own life, are tied to images that we've had. And so science says, oh, it's not original information because the psychic is pulling up all sorts of stuff from their own life. Clearly, the psychic is projecting onto the person. Well, I have to say, science is incorrect about that. The truth is that when God wants to paint a picture in your mind, God uses your imagination. And the difference about understanding whether or not it's your imagination created by you or your imagination from Spirit is when you're observing your psychic truths, you didn't ask your creative mind to come up with that. It just came up with it. So when things just pop in your head, when ideas create and you find yourself observing them, I have a loud plane here today. I'll let it go by for a second. You are actually in a psychic mode of observation. Now, going back to my grandma experience, right? A lot of the visions I got were using, images that I had, basically scary images from dreams and scary things, to say that my grandma was dying. Well, the truth is that Spirit was saying, hey, it's just like this in your life. It's just like this in your life. It's just like that in your life. This is going to happen. So, part of accepting the truth is being in a total state of non-judgment, first of all, okay? And allowing yourself to see the information pour in and allowing it to be in the language of your life, allowing it to be from your imagination, from the symbolism, from your childhood. Spirit will use all these things to tell your story. So today, as you go out in the world, I think we're going to be very psychic because we're trying to find where we belong. You might be in for a breakdown and breakthrough because your mind and ego might have been thinking one thing and your spirit has a whole other answer for you. But when it comes to accepting the truth, it's my advice that you just observe, you don't judge, and you enjoy the show. Because when Spirit speaks to you, it uses your own language to talk. All right, my friends, let's now transition into our Zen Den. And welcome to the Zen Den. Let's take 3 breaths and connect to each other. And I will continue to modify this little firewall. Today, I am generating a violet flame firewall around us, protecting us. And in the protection and center, I am supporting whatever your beliefs are. I am supporting your truth. So when you enter that, realize I'm there and I'm behind you no matter what the truth is. Let's take 3 breaths. Okay, and Spirit has given me a little extra wisdom and a planet to talk about. But first, let's do our daily affirmation. I believe in myself today and carry no self-judgment. And so it is. I believe in myself today and carry no self-judgment. And so it is. Now, we are trying to stick with our beliefs today and what we believe, but you can't stick to what you believe unless you affirm that you believe in yourself. Do you or don't you believe in yourself? Okay. Well, then if you do, let's go out into the world with non-judgment and see what comes. To me, that is the posture. So affirm that you believe in yourself today and carry no self-judgment so you can find your spiritual truth and get to the core of things. So let's take a look at the planets and the overhead projector. We're at step 13, Pisces today. Now that is what you love and what you believe adds to where you belong, step 4. So the breakthrough in the next 24 hours will lead to where you spiritually belong. And I've already described earlier in today's topic and whatnot that the breakdown might be that you were focused on ego and mind and you were way out of touch with what spirit wanted. So although it might be a shock, it's not a shock to the spirit. It's a shock to the ego or to the mind. Now, I don't want to get into this exactly, but it's the sun today is conjuncting Ceres. Now, Ceres is a whole nother energy that we'll talk about another time. In fact, I think I've been instructed to give you guys a lesson on this heavenly body or asteroid, as they say. But today, note for those who understand that it's a profound, provocative day today. Now, the other planet is Mercury and Venus, these two guys. As you can see, these are kind of forming the leg of a yod, right? Here's one leg of the yod. Here's the other leg of the yod, okay? And these two combined, our mind at step 27 is what we feel and sense we should act on. And Venus is we are opening up to manifestation, this adds to a 10, of the right frequency or vibration, Aquarius. So in our desire to break down and break through and see where we're going, one part of us knows the frequency we want to be at. So the universe is saying, go ahead and put your mind and open up to the frequency that you want. That's one leg of this. The other leg is the new man or the new wombed man inside of you that you want to become. And this is something people have been working on for a long time. Since Uranus has been in Aries, we've been innovating our wombed man, we've been innovating our man inside of us, and we've been innovating our egos. I think that's part of the reason why we have, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, at least the ones the media are talking about. Those are two very ego-based people, really. Hillary's very ego-based, in my opinion, and so is Donald Trump. And part of this is humankind's argument over what the new man or wombed man should be, in my opinion. So basically, everyone has their new man. Everyone has what they're opening up to with frequencies and what their mind wants to act on. And this pours into Jupiter, which is now at step 18. If you've been watching my show, you know it was at 19 and now it's retrograde to 18. That means Jupiter is ready to create what we love, step 1, and what we decide, and that will allow us to act on it, step 9, or that will become the new ego, step 9. So today, as we are looking for where we spiritually belong, the trick is to love and trust your beliefs, okay? The trick is to love and trust what you believe. And in those beliefs, I think you have to include the new man or wombed man that you are, and I think you have to include the frequency that you want to be. These combined forces become the new reality. Now, when I was in meditation just now, can you guess what planet Spirit brought up? It was Pluto. Pluto's at step 16, and I actually just did a little Pluto wisdom a couple days ago in my show, so it's really relevant, I think, for you now to go back to that if you want to understand. But Spirit was basically saying to me as I went into the 3 breaths that a lot of clearing and clarity can come once you build the boundaries for what flows easiest. So if you did the analysis I suggested, which was to protect everything that flows easy and to not care about things that don't flow easy, if you did that work, Spirit is saying, hey, let Pluto kill off all the wrong answers. Let Pluto take away what's not going to work, and then allow yourself to observe what's left and accept what's left, because a lot of that process of elimination, that's the term I'm looking for, is what we is part of how we go forward. Now the moon today is in Capricorn, And that means that we are feeling all the degrees of our decisions and our control issues all the way to step 16, Pluto, in the next 24 hours. So in the next 24 hours, your emotions, when they hit Pluto, will want to get rid of and wring out, basically, kill off the emotions that don't serve this whole new empire you're building. Okay? So I think Spirit was saying to me today to tell you to get your boundaries clear. Like, decide today, before the moon hits Pluto, this is what works and what doesn't work. This is what works for me. And so when the tides hit, it's very clear what gets thrown out the door and what stays. Last thing, Mars. Mars is at step 29, Scorpio. 29 is I feel it and I act on it to become integrity. And at the very end, that goes to a third level there that you feel that integrity. This means that you will be tested on your personal boundaries between now and Sunday morning, basically. Mars actually goes to 0 degrees right away, but you still get tested on those final boundaries. And I just want to underscore that if you discover a boundary that's not working, if you discover a hole you didn't think about, it's not the end of the line. In fact, that was the point. The universe wanted you to see that needed to be fixed. So try not to get in that judgment, okay? Stay completely non-judgmental and observant of what it has holes and what needs to be patched up in the last minute. It's kind of like a dress rehearsal if you are a drama person. Okay, that concludes everything. I feel like the airplane's been bugging me. And by the way, everyone, thank you for saying the planes and the noises aren't a problem to you. Sometimes it's a real distraction to me, though, and I need to learn to not talk about it, but I appreciate it. I do want to put out for my subscribers of Serious Joy Personal Sensei Service, your eye candy today at 3 o'clock is going to identify what your core beliefs are. So I can tell from your Jupiter degree and placement in your chart what your soul's core belief is. And I'm going to remind you of that core belief so you make sure you have that included in today's breakdown and breakthrough. And I want to remind everyone that I have a new services page on my website where you can look up birthday readings, secrets of birthdays, and purchase a reading with me. I am very excited to move forward into the spring year, and I'm happy to be helping you. All right, my friends, that wraps up this Thursday. I'm so grateful to be in co-creation with you. I'll see you in 24 hours with your special Friday show. Until then, remember, I love you and live, love, be.